Stanford, who, in my opinion, could have won the Heisman because he was just that good. And then you have both of the Georgia running backs, Sony Michel and Nick. Is it Nick Chubb? I don't want to get that wrong. But you saw both those Georgia running backs. They were absolutely dominating. And even against Alabama, even though Alabama didn't have the best defensive personnel this year, they don't normally give up a ton of rushing yards. And Michelle was absolutely toasting them on third downs in that championship game. And it looked like he could lead them to a national championship. But, eventually they blow it because Georgia likes to blow leads in championship games. But another person I would like to really see in a Browns uniform would be Minkah Fitzpatrick from Alabama. So Minkah is voted unanimously as the best corner in the country. He won the Jim Thorpe Award, best corner in the country. And what I like is he's also like Barkley. He's very versatile. Can be a safety. He can be a corner. He can cover tight ends and man coverage. This man's a freaking beast. He's an absolute tank. Even Nick Saban, who's coached freaks of nature out of high school, said he's never seen anything like Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's absolutely insane. He looks like the most pro-ready player on the defensive side. And the Browns need, help on the passing game. Their best corner is Jason McCourty, for God's sake. Jason McCourty's not going to really be able to cover top wide receivers. And you really got to think about this logically here. The Browns are going to face Antonio Brown and A.J. Green at least 4 times a year. And you want to put Jason McCourty on him? Jason McCourty on Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown's going to get like 200 receiving yards. 3 touchdowns. That's a good fantasy week. I would pick him up. Number 1 pick of the draft right there. Just because he plays the Browns 2 times. But if you have someone like a Minkah Fitzpatrick, bro, I would scrap Antonio Brown. He's going 3rd round in my books. Because against the Browns, he's going to get shut down by Minkah. Or maybe even Joshua Jackson out of Iowa. Because Joshua Jackson also, exact same size as Minkah Fitzpatrick. 6'1", 192. He led the country with 8 interceptions. He was 2nd in the Jim Thorpe Award. And, he looks like the best cover corner in right now coming into the NFL. So that's another possibility. And he signed with Gary Vaynerchuk's sports company. So that's another add-on right there. He's easily the best client. So I hope he does good in his career. Now, again, with the passing game, like I said, Jason McCourty was the only person on that team to actually record multiple interceptions. He had 3. No one else had more than 1. So clearly they need help there. Another area is obviously protecting Kaiser because they did give up the most quarterback hits. My best lineman I have in this draft is Mike McClinchy from Notre Dame. He's 6'7", 310 pounds. I mean, God dang. That's a wall. I mean, imagine facing that as a defense end. You just see a wall in front of you. How do you get past a wall? Now, he was a left tackle, but the biggest area the Browns really need is a right tackle. Coleman in the second season was absolutely terrible. I think Pro Football Focus rated him as the worst right tackle starting in the NFL. So clearly the Browns need help there. So McClinchy is a possible option, 6'7", 310. Like I said, he faced some of the best defense ends in the country, like Bradley Chubb, who I believe is rated as the number 1 defensive end in most mock drafts, and he shut him down. So I'd really like to see McClinchy in the Browns uniform as well. Him, maybe Minkah Fitzpatrick, maybe both Minkah Fitzpatrick and Joshua Jackson really turning around that secondary, and along with, Jabril Peppers, Myles Garrett, that's an incredibly young and talented defense. But I'm going to end it there with the whole Browns discussion. The Browns have a lot to think about this offseason, especially John Dorsey. And I have a lot of confidence in him because he did turn around the Chiefs. He's got a lot of success in his career. So hopefully the Browns can win maybe... If I was to predict it, I would say they're going to win 3 or 4 games this year. I think they can seriously win because they were that close. They choked to the Packers because, the Browns always lose regardless of what the situation is, even against Brett Hundley. How do you lose to Brett Hundley? So, I mean, seriously, that's why the defense needs a lot of revamping. Devontae Adams caught that 21-yarder in overtime. But I have been rambling a lot, so I'm going to go into the next section and the final section of today's podcast, which is my top 5 rookies in the NBA so far this season. So I'm just going to take a quick break, and I'll see you in a bit. And you are listening to the Sports Addict Podcast. Welcome back. I'm glad you can join us and actually have put up listening to me for more than 20 minutes. I applaud you. That is seriously something I can't even do, even though I will have to edit all this. But I was sort of choking on a Doritos Nachos Locos Taco from Taco Bell. And if you're wondering, they're at any of your nearest Taco Bells, they're pretty good, actually. God, I had one of those like a week ago, but I was on the toilet for like 30 centuries, so I don't really recommend it if you actually like your body and want to take care of it. But let's go back to the NBA. So I want to keep this podcast to around maybe like 32 minutes, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on everybody, maybe spend more time on a lot of people. So first person I want to talk about, this is going to be a lot more personal, a lot less based on stats, because it is my opinion on who I think should win Rookie of the Year so far. Number 5, I have Kyle Kuzma on my list. So the notable like snubs I have are Lauri Markkanen, who I love, the Finnish monster. I hope he has a great career, and he looks like he is going to have one. He's out of Arizona, 7-footers who shoot 3-pointers. That's always good in my books. I would love to have him. Dennis Smith Jr., and there's not that many outstanding rookies this year. Let's be honest. There's no LeBron James, but number 5, I have Kyle Kuzma. Everyone knows Kuzma. Him and Lonzo Ball. Great teammates. Obviously, the Lakers are rebuilding this year, so Kuzma is getting a giant role. He's averaging nearly 17 points a game, 6.4 rebounds, and 2 assists. So he's getting a lot of minutes as well. That's a big reason why he's putting up great stats. But, he's looking like a real talent. I mean, I think he was drafted, like, outside of the top 25. So Magic Johnson clearly saved his job with that pick. Otherwise the Lakers' massive fail at number 2 would be a lot more harsh. I mean, imagine if he drafted some nobody. Like, Kuzma has really been the perfect pick. He was amazing in summer ball. He's been doing really good in the NBA. He's putting up 30-point games, here and there. But he's looking like the real deal. And he's very young as well. He's only 22 years old. So he looks like a power forward that's honestly better than Julius Randle, who a lot of people thought would be the franchise player of the Lakers. So him, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, it's a really young core, and it's going to take a few years for them to develop. I also have Lonzo Ball at number 4, and just to segue into that, Lonzo has 10.2 points, and he's averaging 7.1 assists and rebounds. So awesome stats, but the problem with Lonzo is he's one of the worst shooters in the freaking NBA. He's absolutely terrible shooting. Like, if you ever look at his form, he looks constipated. He looks like he's in pain. Like, how do you shoot like that? I mean, like, imitate his shooting form, but it's such a train wreck. I don't even want to dwell on it. But Lonzo is shooting 30% from 3, which is very bad for a guard. 33% from field goal, which is one of the lowest in the NBA from the guard position. And it's a big reason why the Lakers, from 3, are easily the worst. 3-point percentage-wise, the Lakers do have the worst 3-point percentage. They're shooting 33%. And to put that in context, the Warriors are shooting 38%, which is the highest. So you might not think that's a big difference, but it actually is when you think about how important the 3 ball is in the NBA nowadays. That's the reason why the Lakers are 14 and 28, and the Warriors are 33 and 9. So that makes a big difference. Obviously, Warriors have a lot more star power than the Lakers, but Lonzo's had a decent season. Main issue with him is he's getting a ton of minutes. He's averaging 35 minutes a game, which is more than any other rookie except Ben Simmons. And his efficiency is absolutely, I don't want to say terrible, but it's below average, because PER is a measure of how good an NBA player is doing. It's automatically, for everyone, it starts at 15. LeBron James has the best PER. It's over 30, which is absolutely insane. And Lonzo is at 12. So he's clearly got work to do there, and just making sure the Lakers are more efficient on offense and defense, because Lonzo's not the best defender in the world too, but he is, above average for a rookie. So number 3, I have Jason Tatum. Now, a lot of people might even have Jason Tatum number 1. It's hard to disagree with that, except when you really look at the stats. But you can't argue with success. You can't argue with team success whatsoever. Jason Tatum has 31 minutes per game, 14 points per game, 1 assist, and around 6 rebounds. So the main thing to take from this is not exactly those stats, but what he's doing on defense and how efficiently he is from shooting. He's the exact polar opposite of Lonzo Ball. What are you doing, Lonzo? What are you doing? But Jason Tatum has the 3rd highest 3-point percentage in the league as a rookie. I mean, that's actually insane. He needs to shoot more threes. I don't know why he's not. He could be averaging 20 points a game if he shoots more threes. And he's been just the perfect replacement for Gordon Hayward. The Celtics have not taken a step back from when Gordon Hayward got injured. They seem to have taken a step forward. The team chemistry looks great. The Celtics have the best record in the East. And there's a reason for it. Jason Tatum is not playing like a rookie. He's playing like a 10-year veteran. He's shooting 50% from the field, and the Celtics are right now top 5 in three-pointers made per game. It could be number 2 if Jason, shoots a little more from deep. You know what I'm saying. But right now, their defense is a little bit suspect. Well, I don't want to say their defense is. Their offense is averaging the 22nd most points per game, which is probably the major issue that you can find with the Celtics. They don't score enough points. Most of the times they lose, they're held to like 80 points, 90 points. But defense is actually where they thrive the most. I don't know why I said that's where they're iffy, but right now they're giving up the least amount of points in the league. Only 97 points a game. That's actually insane. So Brad Stevens, you got to give kudos to him. He knows how to coach a team, get the best out of his players, and the Celtics are playing out of their skin. They're playing out of their potential, and Jason Tatum is just another point of how good Stevens is at coaching young talent. Number 2, I have Donovan Mitchell. Everyone knows Donovan Mitchell unless you are not a true NBA sports fan. Shame on you, listener. Come on, are you serious? You don't even know who Donovan Mitchell is? Come on, kid, step up. So Donovan's averaging 18.4 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 3.3 assists in 31 minutes per game. The Utah Jazz have been struggling a lot this season, and it's obvious they're missing Gordon Hayward. Rudy Gobert has sort of been injured a lot, so they're missing his defensive presence. So Donovan Mitchell has been really the one bright spot for the Utah Jazz that they can actually look forward to, because Ricky Rubio is feeding him the ball a lot, and if you didn't know that, Ricky Rubio's on the Jazz. Just saying. But Donovan Mitchell, he's a scoring machine. Like, whenever you watch him, he flies out of his shoes. It's actually crazy. He's only 6'3". He's a really undersized shooting guard when you think about it. Klay Thompson's 6'8". Even though Klay Thompson does not look like a big dude when you think about it. But if you stand next to Klay Thompson, you're going to be like, whoa. Well, look at this dude. But Donovan Mitchell, his vert is insane. It's like Dennis Smith Jr., who's got a 48-inch vertical. When you see Donovan Mitchell play his highlights, it's always going to be dunks, him flying out of nowhere. I mean, there was a good highlight where he jumped over Dwight Howard to get a rebound. It's the man's hops. Looks like he's got bunny hops for the next 20 years at least. Looks like Kobe Bryant out there. And number 1, to wrap up the podcast, episode number 1, we have Mr. LSU Tiger himself. I am an LSU fan, and I love him dearly, even though he couldn't even lead us to March freaking Madness. Ben Simmons. So Simmons is averaging 35 minutes per game, 17 points per game, 7.3 assists, and 8.3 rebounds from the point guard position. That is number 2 among all point guards in rebounds, only to Russell Westbrook. This kid is... I don't even know what planet he's from. I mean, I guess Australia is another planet, but dang. These stats are, I mean, who wouldn't want Ben Simmons on their team? 17 points per game. And his field goal percentage isn't bad either. He's a great shooter, even though, again, it's sort of like Lonzo. He looks constipated when he's shooting. It doesn't look very it doesn't look very slick. It doesn't look very Michael Jordan, Kobe-esque, even though he's a lefty, so maybe James Harden-esque. But when he's on the field, his vision is easily the best among any rookie. He's just so good at finding teammates, driving in, kicking the ball. It looks like Chris Paul, except 9 inches taller. And again, he's a great rebounder. I mean, the 76ers, I can't even imagine how hard it is to get a rebound on the 76ers when you got Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons coming at you. I mean, the 76ers have sort of underperformed when you think about how weak the East is, even though, the Celtics are always going to be up there, Cavs are going to be up there. Bucks are having an MVP performance season from Giannis. And, the Heat, I don't even know why the Heat are good. Why are the Heat good? Like, I get it. You have Whiteside and Goran Dragic, but what? You gotta give a lot of credit to, to Pat Riley, I guess. I don't know what's happening there. So, yeah, the Heat are doing really good. But the 76ers have around a 500 record. I don't know why they're struggling so much. I get it. They're a young team. They're not used to winning. In fact, whenever you would name the worst team